So much that at the end, that the end result was the common understanding that this exercise had to be conducted more closely with whom it was actually addressing the UN Millennium Development Goals. So this was a learning process for the Presidential Commission. And we came to the conclusion that those citizens who passes the most dire needs are at the local level, and they had to be included in this process. So as the Office of the President and as an entity of the central government, we in the Presidential Commission decided to make an innovative change to our national way, our national work. We decided to go local. So President Fernandez created an initiative called Pueblo y Milenio, which is the Millennium Village. The Millennium Province. The First Lady of the Dominican Republic, Dr. Margarita Cedeño de Fernandez, launched the initiative the 30th of November of 2005 in the poor rural province of El Seibo in the Dominican Republic. The province of El Seibo was chosen for 4 reasons. It was the second poorest province in the country, out of 32, with almost 70% of its households living in extreme poverty conditions. But it also, I also have a map, for those of you that, no, that's okay. That's the Dominican Republic, and then, oh my, okay, we continue. And the map of the Dominican Republic, and this is the province of El Seibo, with 70% of its households living in extreme poverty. So besides being chosen because of that reason, the province is also located at the east side of the country, where most of the tourism development happens. So if you have ever been to the beaches of the Dominican Republic, one of the most beautiful in the world, they lie in this area over here. So this area over here hasn't been developed at all. So it is a province that has great natural wealth and will be a future spot for developing tourism. So besides of that, the community had already formed around the MDGs, thanks to the Office of the First Lady, who has a program that is called Progresando, Progressing, which is actively engaged with poor families and single mothers by strengthening family values and local civic engagement. So since then, since the First Lady has been in the province, it has embarked on an agenda to support women's work towards small business development. So the initiative of Pueblo y Milenio has been defined as harnessing leadership at the local level so that citizens themselves take control and lead the development of the region, province, and community through a bottom-up, community-based approach to the UN Millennium Development Goals that will help identify the most pressing, dire, direct needs, as well as solutions. So at the local level, we created 7 working groups. Hunger and poverty, each of them were allocated one of the MDGs. Hunger and poverty, health and HIV/AIDS, infrastructure, gender issues, information and communication technologies, education, and environment. I have to say that if we had gender as a task group, it was also mainstream through the other task forces. So it played a double role. Sorry, can we, 2 more? There's just some pictures of the working groups. You saw the first one was in a hotel, but that doesn't mean that they were always in the capital. There was only one. And then all the Presidential Commission moved to the local level together with the UN technical assistance and a representative of the ministers at the local level. So after two additional, besides those 7 task groups that I mentioned, 2 additional areas were added. There was energy and tourism, and they were not identified by us. They were identified by the community because they thought it was critical to the development of their country. Tourism, because of what I explained, and energy because the country has a big energy problem, and it's one of the areas that is more critical in the province. So after general workshops, several meetings, President Fernandez officially presenting this, which is the local needs assessment of the province of El Seibo, to the former General Secretary Kofi Annan during his visit to the Dominican Republic in 2006. I have copies of the book upstairs, so please feel free to. They're in Spanish, but I have others in English with regards to the process. So, ownership or the President's office? That's our dilemma. So the primary task of the Presidential Commission of the President's office was creating ownership in the province of El Seibo by engaging the average citizen and empowering them through decision making. So they felt that these goals were their own. This transition obviously took some time, particularly because Dominicans that they don't feel that their voices have been heard. This mindset comes from unfulfilled promises made by politicians, administration after administration, presidential campaign after the other. Culture dictates that the way to improve one's own condition is to have a special relationship or to have personal connections with that political elite that is in power. So people don't ask favors as a community. They ask favors, or they ask for their own needs to be fulfilled. COPDES wanted the community of El Seibo to translate those personal needs into a collective, cohesive list of needs that would benefit everybody in the province. This situation has affected the situation of asking for these personal needs has affected the level of commitment that the people have in the province. And it has proved to be one of our main current obstacles in transferring ownership to the local level. The whole process that I explained at the local level was not easy. Local authorities and the community, they have been disconnected from their responsibilities, from the responsibility that they had in the development of their environment. They thought that us at the Presidential Commission would continue to assume every operational role and implement the needs that they had identified, rather than being the guiding advisor that the President wanted us to be. The central government continues to have a constant struggle to make the community, or to have the community assume the responsibility for the process in which they dedicated more than 1 year of their lives. After all, it's their province. I live in Santo Domingo, so that's where they live. For us, this journey has been very interesting. The Pueblo del Milenio initiative continues to be an iterative learning process. The Presidential Commission will continuously find aspects to improve upon new ways to engage the community, and for sure they will arise. Globalization and technology is taking democracy and participation in a new direction, and President Fernandez's administration has made significant efforts to harness its benefits through the information and communication technologies and social networks. The second phase of the Pueblo del Milenio initiative will take us to new levels of involvement and will revolutionize democracy by allowing citizens to participate in new ways at the local level. So that was my story of our process.
Thank you very much.